Borada and welcome to the Instasim channel. Today I'm going to be telling the story about my channel and recapping the events that unfolded during 2018. 2018 for me was a year consisting of many different events. It was a year of ups, downs, lefts and rights. There were some good times and there were some dreadful times. It was an absolute mixed bag of different emotions. To me, 2018 was a difficult year. There were lots of things that happened during the lead up to the year, and even more happened during the year as well. There were many events that affected me on a personal level, and others that affected my channel as well. To me, this made 2018 one of my least favourite years so far, and for my channel was by far the worst year in its history. In this video I'll be going over some of the main events that unfolded during the year. This is so that you guys can have an overview of what went on behind the scenes. However, there are some things that I will be leaving out of this video as they aren't really appropriate for the video, although I may cover more of these at a later date in a different video. So without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm going to start this video off with a lead up to 2018, by starting off in September of 2017. This is a time I was heading off to university for the first time. There were mixed emotions when I left to go to university as well. I was filled with excitement that I was going, but dread because it was the first time I was moving away from my family and friends at home. I was also the only one from my secondary school to go to the university I chose to go to. This is also met with mixed feelings, as it meant I didn't really know of anyone going, meaning I had to get to know people again, but this was also a good thing as it sort of meant I could get a fresh new start on life as nobody really knew of my past. I kinda looked at it as a second chance to fulfill what I wanted to do, and I was very grateful for it. Moving away from home wasn't all that easy, but I was moving to shared accommodation at university, and I got to meet the people on my flat relatively early on. We got to know each other and we seemed to get along quite well to begin with. I also did a live stream on my first week when I moved to university. I don't really remember much about it, but it was a fun time. However, neither of these really lasted very long. Beginning of October meant it was the beginning of the semester. I had lectures to go to and work to get on with. I got to meet a few people on my course and made good friends quite early on. This is something I really liked, and I'm glad to say we became friends, particularly with regards to what happened later on in the year. I was also keeping a fairly consistent livestream schedule where I would stream on a Saturday night every week, and I really enjoyed doing it until I was forced to stop due to issues with my laptop. It was around the middle of October when the laptop issue started, where my laptop complained of a corruption on the hard drive. This struck me as quite strange, but I let my laptop do its routine to try and fix the issue, but to no avail. About a couple of weeks after trying to fix it and having to reinstall Windows a few times, the blue screen of death would start to appear. This was an absolute nightmare for me, as the blue screen of death would come up on a day I'd planned to stream, most of the time, meaning I had to cancel streams at last minute. This got many people understandably annoyed, but it was the only thing I could do at the time. By mid-November, my laptop would essentially blue screen on a weekly basis, meaning I had no choice but to stop streaming altogether, and either wait until I got a new setup or until I could solve the problem. It was inevitable that this had to happen, but it was really the only solution I had at the time. It was also regrettable as it was around this point in time where issues would start between me and the people on my flat, although to counterbalance in some way, this was also the time where I started the train spotting content on my channel. The train spotting was essentially where I would spend a morning or a whole day on a train station watching steam trains go past when they did. This offered me with some content to make which many viewers seemed to enjoy, and behind the scenes offered me some relief from my flat for a bit. Due to my close proximity to Chester, Crewe and Shrewsbury, it wasn't all that bad either. Then Christmas came about, and truth be told it wasn't really a very eventful Christmas. It was nice to spend time with family and it offered relief from the flat issues I was having for a couple of weeks, but owing to something which happened a few weeks prior, the urge to celebrate was pretty much non-existent. We now enter into 2018, and it was now coming up to the end of the first semester. This meant that I had tests and deadlines coming up, meaning that I had to put my head down and work hard to achieve the grades I wanted to get. However, at this time, it was quite unfortunate that I had fallen incredibly ill. As I am myself, however, I still carried on, but I came to a certain point where I just couldn't. Although I managed to sit all of my tests, and thankfully the worst of the illness didn't really come until afterwards. The end of the month was also the time of the Global Game Jam, which I went to for the first time in January 2018. This was a lot of fun, to just spend a weekend working on a game quickly, and it gave me a valuable excuse to be out of the flat for a bit, which would happen a lot more often as the year went on. It was also at the end of the month when YouTube decided to drop a big bombshell on smaller creators, where they announced that the YouTube Partner Program was changing by increasing the threshold to become eligible for the program. Originally, this change filled me with a bit of anger, as they changed it from requiring 10,000 views in total on the channel, where at the time of the announcement I was around about 9 to 9,500 views anyway, so I wasn't really far off, to requiring about 1,000 subscribers in total and 4,000 watch hours in the past year. I was nowhere near these requirements at the time, and I'm not really that close to them at the moment either, but eventually I came to my senses and accepted that this was going to happen. The change itself came into force in February, which is a pretty exciting month for my channel regardless, as it was the time I had finally reached my 150 subscribers milestone and a total view count of 10,000 views on the channel. I had also reached the third milestone of having 250 videos uploaded to the channel in its history, which was an amazing accomplishment to me and one I hold very dearly. However, it was also in February where I had pretty much fallen out with my flat completely. I didn't really enjoy my time on the flat, and I had my reasons for it, which I'm not really going to go into detail about in this video. Essentially, from this point forward, I would be staying in my room quite a bit and only go to the kitchen when I really needed to. I would often try to find excuses to leave the flat, but at the time I couldn't really find any valuable excuses beyond going shopping or going to university. At the end of the month, I went to Shrewsbury for the day to see a steam train, but these weren't happening all that often to begin with either, so not even train spotting could be an excuse to leave the flat. Combined with the appalling weather we had at the end of February, I did feel like I was starting to develop a mild case of depression, which was fueled by the issues I was having on my flat, combined with the issues I had with my laptop, and the sprinkling of the weather added to the mix. This didn't really help my mental state at all, and to be honest I didn't really know how long I could keep it going. I just didn't have an escape route. By March time, I was seriously considering whether or not I should call it quits with both YouTube and, to a lesser extent, university, but I came to my senses and kept going. I've never let problems like these get to me before, and I wasn't going to start now. However, on the plus side, it was in March when I decided that I would attempt to play games again on my laptop. I introduced my dad to Steam and Euro Truck Simulator 2, and we spent many evenings just driving trucks on multiplayer. Things started to get better, and I felt like I was enjoying myself again. I finally felt like I had a distraction from the flat, time I could spend by myself without having to worry about what was going on around me. It was also in March, during a meeting of the student council, when I got invited to an end-of-year award ceremony, and to an art exhibition at one of the university's campuses, both of which happening in May. These gave me something to look forward to in a few months. Easter was also on its way in a few weeks, so it was yet another thing to look forward to as I planned to go home for the Easter weekend, meaning I could do two things which I would enjoy: travelling on a train and spending time with family. However, all good things have to come to an end at some point. It was during the Easter break, and before I was due to go home, I was on my laptop and suddenly the blue screen of death appeared yet again. As with the routine with the blue screen of death, I just popped the Windows 8 disk I had back into my laptop in the hope that this would allow me to reinstall Windows. However, this didn't work at all. The disk wouldn't even load, despite trying many different times. I eventually had to admit defeat and accept that my laptop would not recover in its current state, and on the 28th of March 2018, my laptop was officially pronounced dead. This made me feel quite bad, but to some relief it was the day before I was due to go home anyway, meaning I could take it home and have a look to see if it could be fixed. We eventually discovered it was the hard drive that had failed in the laptop. The only option we had from this point was to purchase a new hard drive and put it in the laptop. We ordered a new solid-state hybrid drive to test, and by luck this worked. My laptop had a breath of fresh air it had never had since November 2017, and it was almost like it had drunk some 6 cans of Red Bull. That's how fast it was, and pretty much still is. To me, however, it did feel a bit temperamental. Therefore, despite the laptop working properly, I had made the decision that I would not be live streaming or making YouTube videos. I would still be editing content I'd recorded already and would be uploading them, but I wasn't going to record any new content until I got a new PC. My laptop would be mainly for university work, and I needed to keep it that way. At least until the end of May. After Easter, things on my course started to die down a bit, mainly with tests and deadlines coming up again. However, it was also after Easter when I would start doing a lot of other things for myself. First of all, I got the chance to go to Wales Comic Con in April, which was a lot of fun. I was also invited to the cinema a few times with friends, with the first time going to see the new Tomb Raider movie. I also got the chance to go to Focus Wales in May, and it was also in May when I went to the award ceremony and art exhibition I mentioned earlier. There was also a lot of train spotting opportunities I had in April and May as well, and this also helped with content creation on YouTube and also just giving me excuses to leave the flat quite a bit. However, what made a lot of these experiences more special to me was that for the most part I got to be with my friends. I thoroughly enjoyed these experiences I had with my friends, and as harsh as this may sound, I could somewhat forget about the people I felt completely, as I had great time spent with my friends and with people I actually got along with. It was these experiences which I cherished from my first year of university, and is also what made me feel a bit lost when I had to go back home over the summer. I had such a great time with my friends that I'm not ashamed to admit that I did miss them when I went back home, and I was also hoping I would get to see them when I went back to university the following September. Summer 2018 was a pretty wild time. I went home at the beginning of June, meaning it was only a few weeks until I would receive my results for my first year. I would know if I have passed and would be able to continue to the second year. It was also at the end of June where I finally got a new PC and was able to live stream and record videos again. When I could finally go back to streaming again, I was incredibly happy. I decided to use days during summer where I wasn't really doing much for streaming occasionally, so that I could test out my new setup with the streaming software. I was also trying to build up an audience, which is something I believe I did quite well. The streaming was going quite well to the point that in August I was invited to join the Twitch affiliate scheme, and since the 1st of August 2018 I have been a Twitch affiliate, and to some extent this can be seen as a counterbalance to me losing out with the YouTube partnership program. At the end of June I also received my first year results from university and was incredibly happy to find out that I had passed all of my first year modules and would be allowed to continue on to my second year. I also found out a lot of my friends had also passed their first year and was even happier that I would be able to see them again in September. Summer pretty much came and went. I wasn't stuck at home all summer, don't get me wrong. There were days we spent time as a family on days out and stuff, but other than that it wasn't incredibly eventful. I still really liked my time over summer, and emotions started kicking in when it was coming up to September again. However, it was at the end of August when something very strange happened on my channel, something that would affect me on a somewhat personal level. In the lead up to this, I was refilming the series on my channel The Engines of Exeter, and 2 of the voice actors had decided not to carry on with the series, which was understandable. I put out a video to explain the circumstances, but when I uploaded the video and made it public, I noticed some strange comments on the video. For some reason I was receiving a slew of harassment on my videos, and this was going into personal matters which was a bit scary. It was happening on my YouTube channel, and it also funneled its way onto my Discord server. This lasted a few days, but I then decided that enough was enough and had to make some necessary changes to my YouTube channel and Discord server. Thankfully it did stop eventually, but it wasn't a very nice thing to happen. September came about quite quickly after summer. It was mostly the same routine as the previous year as well, whereby I was going to be moving away from home again. Although it was once again a fairly emotional time, this year I was going back to my friends again, meaning I was in a better state than last time. It was still difficult to be going away from family again though, not going to lie. This year, however, we had to book an extra week before the accommodation contract officially started. I decided to go to the annual trip to EGX again, which is organised by one of the lecturers at my university. However, the trip itself was happening the day before the contract officially started, meaning I needed the extra few days to settle in before going to Birmingham. This time I also decided to take my camcorder with me with the intention of vlogging at the event. I was also going to meet some Welsh Gaming Network members, which was going to be absolutely amazing. Although I did manage to meet some of the WGN members at EGX, as was evident, the vlogging didn't actually happen. What happened was that my camcorder had basically completely ceased operation. When I first started filming at EGX, everything seemed fine, but upon a continuous filming, the camcorder would freeze and white lines would appear on the screen. Eventually, the camcorder would completely turn off and wouldn't come back on. I was absolutely devastated by this, most of all as my camcorder was a present from my parents after I'd done well in my A-levels. We have finally got the camcorder repaired though, and turns out the main board on the camcorder had just burned out. With my camcorder not working anymore, I just felt at a loss. As a result, I felt like I didn't quite do as much as I would have liked when I went to EGX. I did get to meet a few WGN members, though mainly Steel Elves and Nalindi, and we spent quite a lot of the afternoon together, and this made me feel a bit happier as a result. I was still devastated that my camcorder broke though, as it meant I couldn't go and do any chain spotting for a while, nor could I vlog when I went to ERTG, which I had booked for the 20th of October. I did finally get over it, and it was quite helpful that this year I actually got along with my flatmates. This year I've actually become friends with the people I live with, meaning that my camcorder issue was quickly forgotten about, to some extent. I was still a bit disheartened, but it wasn't something I should dwell on as I had other things to worry about. However, RTG was coming up in October, and I was very much looking forward to go. Although I didn't have a camera with me, it was still a great time, and I got to do much of what I wanted to, which was meet some YouTubers that I watched regularly. It was a great time up in Glasgow, and one I wouldn't trade for the world. The first term also helped take my mind off my broken camcorder. I was kept pretty busy owing to the fact I was being called to meetings and stuff quite a bit, and it helped me to take my mind off things a little bit. Around the middle of November, things started to slow down a bit, once again. I was a little less busy, but Wales Comic Con was coming up. I was really looking forward to go, but was disheartened that I thought I wouldn't be able to vlog at the event. However, it was around mid-November that I decided to buy a new camcorder. I was discussing it with my parents, and we were looking at a more up-to-date model camcorder than the one that broke, and eventually I bought the one which I have now, which was absolutely amazing. With a new camcorder, it meant that I was now able to vlog again, and I had plans to go to Wales Comic Con to vlog in December, and I was very happy to receive confirmation that I had secured press passes to the event, with great thanks to the Welsh Gaming Network for securing the press passes. Wales Comic Con was an absolute blast, and it was a ton of fun to be able to vlog at the event and to be able to interview a few people. Although my interview skills aren't great, it was still a lot of fun, but I suppose I have somewhere to improve for next time. I also got to meet Rage Darling from the Welsh Gaming Network, which was absolutely great. A few days after Wales Comic Con, I then went to do some train spotting at Warrington Bank Quay. I was originally going to go to Crewe, but my train got cancelled, meaning I had to make alternative arrangements. The reason I went was because a steam locomotive Britannia was going past, and it was the last time I'd get to see her in 2018, and I wanted to see her at some point. It wasn't too bad though, and I spent a good few hours at Warrington. When I went home, I decided to edit the video and upload it to my channel. Unbeknownst to me at the time, this video would then explode with the view count going up and up. Within the first week, the video had gained around 500 views, far surpassing any other video I had uploaded in 2018, and becoming the second most viewed video on my channel in its history. This was absolutely incredible, and to me was a great way to enter a roller coaster of a year. So despite the ups and downs of 2018, much of this is owed to my viewers and friends who kept supporting me throughout 2018. I have to owe it all to your support, as without it I could have easily called it quits on my channel months ago, and occasionally I was considering it. All the hard work put into the channel wouldn't have been worth it without your support and dedication, and to that I owe you all an amazing debt of gratitude. It's been an absolute pleasure to continue making content for you all, and that's not going to end anytime soon. The channel has a bright future ahead, so let's roll on 2019, and to that I can only say a big thank you. I would also like to extend a special thank you to Safos Trains for organising quite a few Steam rail tours in 2018, in particular these rail tours which were passing through Wrexham and Chester, and also the one that went past Warrington Bank Quay in December. It was these that gave me so many great train spotting opportunities throughout the year, and is what gave me excuses to leave the flat quite often. As a token gesture, I will therefore be leaving a link to Safos Trains in the description. They organise some very nice steam and diesel rail tours, and I highly recommend checking them out. But we're not ending things there. I have many plans for 2019 to take the channel forward, and hopefully we can fulfill the plans and make the channel a success, but that's something for another video. So thank you all so much for watching this vlog. If you did like it, don't forget to like the video, comment down below and subscribe to the channel. It'll help me out a lot and you'll get more videos like this. Also don't forget to like my Facebook page on Twitter and on Twitch, and as always I'll see you all in the next video. But until then, goodbye.